another stunner of a day. We only had one day of rain, and already the ground is, I'd love to say I'm going out there to the blue sky and the foxgloves, but I'm not. I am finishing off the bathroom once and for all. Sand and paint. I bought a paint for here that's meant to be specifically for bathrooms. I'm going to use that, but I might first of all spray it with the top line and then do my second coat in this other stuff I'll show you. All right, so back and we're ready for painting. It's now like 4, oh gosh, it's 5:15. Want to have an early dinner tonight. It's Father's Day, so it was really nice because one of Rob's close friends called around with his kids, so we had a little bit of time off to sit in the sun. So now back to it. Just really want to get this bathroom painted. So once I get that done, it only needs just one more coat of this special paint that I bought just for bathrooms. So we'll get this done and I'll stop talking.
Good morning, guys. It feels a bit strange now recording this as I've had a couple of days off relatively. Friday was editing, Saturday we had to drop some scaffolding to Cove. We had to pick up kind of an antique bed and bring that back. Yesterday was Father's Day really, and I did a little bit of editing. So it feels like it's been 3 days since I was working, or 3 days since we recorded. I just came up to Ashton's room, as you can recall. I did the plasterboard in Kira's room, and I'm just coming into Ashton's. But it's a freaking state. Such a mess. I can't do anything in there. He's gone off to his grandparents for a week, so guess who gets landed with tidying the teenager's bedroom? I don't know what to do. Oh, Jesus. I don't know. I'll go back to you. Alright, so Ash never actually moved out. We weren't planning to do this. We moved Kira down, but Ash never moved down. It just so happens he's gone to his grandparents, so we're going to try to do this. I've cleared half of his room somewhat. I'm going to try to finish the insulation, finish the framing, vapor barrier, plasterboard, half of his room, and then I can move some of his junk back into the half of the room, and I'll do the center, and then we shall turn our attention to this sort of this bathroom side of things. So it's not ideal, but we're gonna give it a go. All right, let's get ready for framing. Okay folks, that's the wiring done. Have the socket installed there, and I have 2 sockets installed here. Next up, I gotta frame out this window. So folks, here we are looking at a fully framed up window. Yay! We had a little bit of the bowing issue here also. I don't even need to measure. You can see that this is a lot thinner than this. In fact, you can see here, these are the kind of frame supports. Doesn't even reach from the window to the frame here. And down there you can see how it all reaches back, so it's a lot wider down here. It's all going well. It's not too bad. Now actually we've done it once before, this is the second time. Hopefully it'll be faster again on the inside. Electrical done, framing done. I don't think I have any more framing to do. Next up, I have to put the membrane behind these, throw in the insulation, and that's maybe going to be a bit tricky because I don't know. I'll have to put some sort of a frame there on the wall so I can attach the plasterboard. I must think about that. You know what? I'll probably go around and look at where I have to do plasterboard attachments. I got to do it here as well. Another San Diego joint. I'm really not looking forward to how I'm going to frame this wall up there, because it's kind of diagonal on a arched roof, so I got to figure that out also. But for the time being, I reckon I'm just gonna, I don't know what time it is, it's probably about 4 or 5, but I want to just put the membrane on this and throw in some insulation, and let's leave it at that. Hey folks, just wanted to share with you a project we've been working on with the Patreons. We wanted something that'll bridge our YouTube channel with you guys, the awesome community. If you would like a piece of digital art that I created sent to you as a postcard with a message from us, then head on over to our Ko-fi store, pick up one of these bad boys, and we will send it out to you.
The number of prints are limited, so if you want one, head over now. Or join our Patreon and be involved in other projects like this one. Just finishing up this last little piece. It's just masked up the whole shower. I don't get it paint everywhere. And now I'm just going to spray the ceiling in the shower, and then we'll be pretty much done, hopefully. Right, so finally finished painting the bathroom. Last final thing to do is the floor. Don't worry about that in a minute. Just give you a quick look. So obviously we still have skirting boards to go on, but that's where the towel rail is. And then you've got the window. We have cleaned up these tiles behind the sink and put this mirror up. Really like this mirror, this color of this mirror. So we'll see if we can sort of match a few things to that. But actually we decided the windowsill and the shelf will be, I will cut a part out of these tiles to fit on there, so they'll sort of match. Just kind of finished cleaning the glass here, just so it looked a little bit better to show you. So round, I painted all the way up round the ceiling, and the fan obviously needs to be done yet. But anyway, all the way around, and then that's where the light fitting goes. So bathroom is painted and pretty much finished. So we have a blind, we've bought a blind for there, sort of a dark brown colour. That needs to go in, but we will be putting the wood around the trim of this window. We'll tile the bottom, but wood the rest. So yeah, it's looking pretty good, I think. Nice to have a clean mirror and clean glass and everything sparkling. So, next job.
We're not looking too bad now, folks. We have the vapor barrier on, and I think I'm going to try to throw up 1 or 2 pieces of plasterboard here. As I said, we want to get this side done, and we want to get the plasterboard up here so that any of Ashton's junk that's left in his room we can just push across, and then we can get cracking with the rest of it. It's suddenly gotten, I don't know, can you see it, very dusty up here. Claire is grinding the concrete outside. I'm trying to get ventilation, but there's a lot of dust moving. Let's see how she's getting on. Yeah, there's nowhere really for the dust to go. Oh, my tripod's broken. Well, as I was saying, tripod's bust. Camera keeps blowing over. Claire's grinding, so oh man, look at it. So there's cement dust. I don't know where it's coming from. See it going out the window. I was just checking this. This is our vent shaft. It is actually crazy how much ventilation. Do we get through this? Like all the vents, all the bathrooms in the house and our living room and sitting room, they're all connected to this one. And like there's so much air being sucked out by it right now. I don't know, is it hot air up here? It's being pulled out. I don't know, but it's really working well. DIY mechanical ventilation system, very easy to do. Yeah, it's a bit trickier actually if you're going to pump air into your house. Sucking air out of your house, it's fine, just use these paper ones, but if you're sucking air in, you got to be careful about mold growth, so you got to take it a little bit better. But this is pulling out a lot, so the dust is definitely not coming in here. I don't think the dust's coming in there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'm going to do now, I'll turn you off, but what I'm going to do is get in my plasterboard hoist, and I'm going to put one large sheet up there. That'll get me up to almost the kind of collar tie beams we have up there. And then with half of this roof done, I need to figure out some way. I don't know how I'm going to do it. This beam collar tie comes straight through the wall and out, so I got a frame up behind, over and around it. First things first, let's try and fit this plasterboard hoist in. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, good morning, and it is Tuesday, and I am tackling the floor between our bedroom here and the hall. So I've given this little dust sheet another go, and I've actually used air tightness tape to stick it up. Air tightness tape sticks to everything. It's just a bit hard to get off afterwards, but I do that rather than have to deal with the dust that we're going to create. So got this step to do. We finished here, you can see the difference. So this step to do, and then just this whole hallway going down. The bathroom, I'm going to keep the bathroom door closed for now, and if I can get the bathroom done today, I will do that last. This little room here, it's hard to know. This is going to be a wardrobe with like wardrobe on either side and shelves, so I might just do from sort of the doorway into the wall on both sides, that area. I expect there'll only be like a little rug there or something just to stand on. I'm just going to get down to the doorway, and then I'm going to make a decision. I might just part the stuff in the middle and just do the middle part while I'm here, and then keep going down. So, mask on, suit is on, away we go. I'm looking forward to doing this corridor bit because this is quite smooth and flat, so I don't think it's going to take very long, and I really just want to get this piece done. The big job will be the further hallway down past where the plastic is, and of course the kitchen is going to be a massive one. So we'll just get going and we'll see how we get on. Oh my god. I hate the job, but then once I get going at it, and I see how well it looks, I love just getting it done. And from the last time, I was able to see the bits that didn't take so well to the sealant when I did the bedroom. So now I'm really looking at it with a second eye and just going over those bits a second time. It's not hard. It's not hard work at all. It's just messy, and it takes time to just get it down to where you want it. So we keep going. We have finished this hallway. I'm quite happy with it actually. It's super smooth. It's funny because I know when I did our bedroom, which is just really dusty now, I won't even show you. It's just full of dust, you can't see anything. I could tell how far to kind of go down now. God, I've covered it Anyway, so now I know how far I can sort of go down here, and so I've become a bit more confident with it. So I really took quite a layer off this. The downfall with this is obviously my lovely walls that were newly painted are absolutely covered in dust. But anyway, the floor won't be dusted, it won't be ground again, and this is it. I started to start the bathroom. As you can see, it is filthy, and the shower. But I knew it's 8 o'clock now, and I'm just not going to get that done how I want it tonight. So there's just no point rushing it. So we're going to finish there. The entire house is an absolute dust magnet, but you know, it's done. Once it's done, it's done. And we'll just have to put up with a few dusty days until it is done. So I'm really happy with it. Really happy with the progress I made. I do feel I've managed to sort of smooth it out more than I did in the bedroom. I think in the bedroom I really didn't know how it was going to look when we put the sealant on. And so I just kind of went, well, you know, that'll be okay, kind of thing. But now I know the areas that won't take sealant as well if you don't have them ground down. So I know what to look for. So, and also I feel that anywhere where it's quite lumpy, I just took it right out with the grinder. I literally just went straight back to basics with it, right flat. So the kitchen is going to break my heart because that is the bumpy mess, my bumpy mess. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I feel quite positive about it now. When you start, you're kind of like, ugh, I don't want to do it. But actually, once you get into it, it's not too bad at all. So it's nice to get all this done in the day. I was hoping to just stretch and get the bathroom done, but I didn't. But look, tomorrow morning that'll be done. And then I can start thinking about this hallway here. So I'll leave it there. It's an absolutely beautiful evening out there. There's a horrible north wind, but it is a beautiful evening. And the sun is still high in the sky actually, 8 o'clock. You can see all my bits of plastic and my suit and everything is out there. It's a bit of a tip. Anyway, we will talk to you in the morning. Bye for now.
I don't know why I bother trying to do this. It's a feckin' mare to move. And it's only really useful for one plasterboard, but for that one plasterboard it is so useful. Oh, come on. Right, so Ashton's room is a little bit smaller than Kira's because of the position of the stairs, but he gets a slightly bigger bathroom. So that was our compromise. Ah! They have to go on upside down. How about that? Pretty good. We're going to turn this bad boy around. Come on over here, folks. So my target is that corner. I need to lift this part on top of the plasterboard, so it kind of sits a little bit. And I want to get this corner above the OSB again, so it sits a little bit. This is not going to be easy. Let's see how we go. It's not going too bad. You see, the problem with these on this sort of an angle is the plasterboard slides down. So you can see now this is slightly angled. It's wide at the bottom, it's overshooting the top because it's up about 2 inches there, and that's because the plasterboard has just slid off this mount. So whilst it's not perfect, it's pretty damn handy. I had a multi-tool that was really good for cutting these out, but I don't know, the vibrations of it is bouncing out the battery or something, so I'm resorting to the old faithful, it's a plasterboard saw. I don't know what you saw there, but sorry, I don't know what you saw there. It's on a little bit of an angle, so I have to trim a bit off this side. I had a bit of difficulty in the side. All of these are bent from how I stacked them standing up stupidly, but I had to put a little bit of trim there at the top of the wall so I could attach it to the uprights. I had to cut out a little bit with the old-fashioned plasterboard saw because my multi-tool is acting up. All my Bosch tools, all my Bosch and Parkside tools are acting up. So I gotta trim this off, screw the rest in, get rid of the hoist, and I'm gonna go back to the big ladder and start putting them up in quarters, try and finish this. I have 4 more to go up there, and I have 2 small bits to do on the window, and that should be it for the day. It's been a long time. It's like 5 o'clock now. This is slow going. It's annoying to do it in the mask, but Claire's grinding away downstairs like a trooper, so can't complain too much about that. Anyway, get going. Oh, fucking hell. Oh. Just tired, dusty. Hate working with a mask. Ladders, rooms that aren't cleaned. Anyway, I'm gonna get rid of this. This will get a bit more space. Claire has summoned me for tea. I must go to her post haste. Hey folks, just had a neighbour drop over, had a nice cup of tea outside, and thinking what I'm gonna do next. I think there is no escaping the fact that I have got to attempt to frame up this. I gotta put some backing there. I need to put some backing here, like trapezium shape or something. I think backing, get the roof across to the center point, and then I might think about putting some plasterboard up here. Oh, I don't even know if I'm gonna show you guys. It's getting late. I must have a think, see what's gonna happen, get up there. I don't know what's possible. I'll be back to you. Got sunburn actually. It's very hot out still. Oh guys, I am gonna call it a day here. It is 8:30 and I'm doing nothing but making some really cool cups. I'm joking, they're not cool at all. I spent a ridiculous amount of time trying to get this triangular bit in. Oh my god, it is no joke. I don't know what was wrong. It's not even how I want it, to be honest. I don't know how I so badly measured it all. I don't know how. It's all gone very wrong. I wanted it to go to full length up to this stud, but I couldn't get it past the other studs, so I had to chop the whole thing down and it was a bit of a disaster. I finally got it though. It doesn't look great. Claire's gonna have to do a lot of mixing up. It took so long, almost an hour just to do this one little section. I don't know if there's a knack, but I didn't get it. And then after that I thought, well, let me do it another little bit more, and this beaut of a f*** up happened. Number one is I did it backwards, so the wrong side is there. Number two, it's too short. Number three, it's too low. Number four, the surrounding plasterboard is just a disaster, so I'm gonna leave it. I might say to Claire can fill up the bottom with her mesh tape and plaster. If I feel good tomorrow, I might make a new one, but this is, what a pain in the ass. I mean, this sounded cool when I was making it. Put in a nice, this was actually going to be a curve. I was going to do an S curve and I thought, let's keep it simple with a straight line. Thank God I didn't. But hopefully once I figure out this tomorrow morning, next video, I think all the rest of it is fairly straight. Just this is wrecking my head. Anyway, as I say, I'm gonna wrap up. I can hear Claire giving the summary as well downstairs. Thanks for everything. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for buying postcards. Thanks for super thanks. Thanks for blah blah blah. Thanks for everything. You guys are freaking awesome. But mostly, thanks for staying around for so long. The really cool days and the massive time lapse videos are great, but these really boring, painful videos is when we super appreciate your support. And if you're still here, cheers. I'll see you next time.
Okay, good morning.
GPS signal lost.
What? Anyway, it's a Wednesday, and
it's a glorious Wednesday.
It's a lovely day, and we're just have a few kind of little bits to do. So we've just decided that we have a few questions that you guys have asked, and a lot of them are some really good Patreon questions actually. So I want to answer those. Pauline. We're just heading towards Baltimore actually at the moment, so we'll give you a quick look when we get a bit closer, because Baltimore is beautiful. But we are actually heading there just to get some wax sheets for my bees from a honey supplier there, because I've never actually been to his place, but he's on our doorstep, so that's very handy. And also we must just pop to the shop and pick up a few supplies. So just starting with the questions.
Maybe some cooking supplies.
Yeah.
Tune in for the next episode.
So we'll just start with these questions and get them answered for you. First one, did we get advice on the project?
We did not get advice on the project. However, we have been watching property programs since early 2008. My parents have renovated a couple of houses. Claire's parents have renovated their house, and we watched a hell of a lot of YouTube, and I think we're familiar with these sort of old properties as well. But really, like, no, they're just very simple, honest to God stone houses. They don't require a lot of effort, so we didn't need advice. Do you know, we actually were, I think my father or someone asked, are we going to get a proper structural engineer out? And I said no. And he said, why? And I said, number one, it's a simple house, and number two, we plan to rip everything out. Which is what we did. We took the roof off, we rebuilt all the walls, we redid the foundation. So really, in terms of like structural or civil engineering, there wasn't a huge need, I don't think. These old houses were built on huge boulders, kind of bedrock, so they didn't need a lot of input really. Just go for it.
There wasn't anything really major that stood out with being a problem either. I suppose if we had seen anything that was a major problem, then perhaps we would have, but we didn't have any major cracks, we didn't have any, it was just an old farmhouse, and it just needed a bit of love really. So that's that one. What was the toughest task so far? I would say the toughest task so far was the roof. I was always worried about the roof because I have a bit of a fear of heights, which I guess I did know I had, but it was even more so when I realised how high it was. Like, it's only a farmhouse, but it's still bloody high. And to be honest, it was just as well Rob discovered that he's quite good at climbing with a climbing rope, because if he wasn't, we'd have had a serious problem.
I wasn't quite good at climbing, but my mentality was get it done as fast as possible because nobody else is coming to do it. But I was proper terrified up there. Proper freaking terrified. I would say though on that was definitely the most complex, but it wasn't the hardest or toughest. The toughest project was definitely pulling out the sycamore tree. We used every single tool. Yeah. We were defeated by the tree every evening. Like, we woke up in the morning and said, we're going to get it out. We expelled every bit of energy we had. We broke so many tools, and in the evening it was like we couldn't get it out. And that went on for about 4 days. So that was mentally and physically. And that was a heat wave. So yeah, that was like 35 degrees centigrade weather. It was mentally and physically tough.
Yeah. How do you split your tasks? So the tasks, I suppose they're split in a way that, you know, the person who's particularly good at whatever it might be does it this kind of way. There's no point doing something if you're not very good at it. Rob is really good at the construction side, the maths side, working out how we're going to do things and researching that.
Angles, structural load, kind of harmonic motion, anything that needs some calculations I'll spend time doing, and anything that needs kind of a range of tools, like, I don't know, like cutting angles into beams or ripping down material on the saws. I can use those tools, so I generally do them.
Yeah, and I suppose anything kind of that I know I can do, I will do. So, you know, all of the, and particularly cleaning up, I'm pretty good at cleaning up.
Yes, you're good at cleaning.
But,
in fact, when I'm in the middle of a job and I just down tools for the evening and I'm going to take it back in the morning, I jump into the shower, I come out of the shower and I hear Claire going with the Hoover. She's tidied up my whole mess and she comes down giving out to me, and I'm like, where I left everything. That doesn't compute with Claire. She needs it all tidy, so
I just like to have everything tidy so when you start the next day. Now, we weren't good at that at the start. The place was a tip, but however, there is a pros and cons to that then as well, because we got an awful lot done, and then in the winter time I was able to just go around and pick up everything that was a mess.
And we still have a lot of mess.
I don't know, we still have a lot of mess, but it's a better mess. It's a more organised mess than it was. What has surprised you about each other on the project? We were just talking about this one before we actually got to record this, and I was saying that the thing that surprised me most, and I suppose it's because I had never seen this side of Rob before, was the actual organisation of having everything to hand.
So she's saying she thought I was disorganised before. That's the polite.
No, we just never, like, we both lived our lives in a house that was already built for us, and we just went to our day jobs. You don't get to know how a person will manage in a situation like this until you actually do it. So I suppose you could say a lot of people don't get to know the person they're living with, really, because you have no idea how someone is going to manage in this kind of situation. So Rob was like, he ordered everything has been correct. He ordered the roof to within inches of what we needed. Everything that we've needed, he's just got on time. Like, there's been no waiting, there's just everything, and in some ways I suppose we were a little bit ahead of time with some things because we didn't need them quite as soon, but just that kind of, what do you call it, logistics? Maybe logistics. I have to say,
general awesomeness, I think,
has just been brilliant. So that's what I would say on that one.
I would say for Claire, like, nothing really has surprised me in terms of characteristics. I always knew she was a very hard worker and always got stuck in, but it's just the degree to which she got stuck in now. It's like the, what's it called, the Energizer bunny, just keeps on going and going and going. But sometimes I'll joke because she gets hungry and she has to drop tools, but as long as she's fed, she'll keep going forever. But it's also the type of tasks, like, we had a problem with our sewage recently, and I'm not good at that sort of stuff at all, and I was like, whoa, I couldn't deal with the smell or anything, but Claire just got, literally, I won't go into details, but she got stuck in and she sorted it, and she owns the sewage now, as she says.
Oh God. Anyway, yes. Yeah, so that's that. Would you have designed anything differently?
Well, I suppose as I designed it, no, I mulled over the designs an awful lot prior, and I had designed a few houses I thought we were going to get prior as well. And the thing is that every house has a unique footprint, and I tried my best to optimize that footprint, and I tried my best to make use of space and just to include kind of, I don't want to say like architectural features, but to include some things you wouldn't see normally that was kind of ours, like, and I'm really, really happy about the house. I mean, I could have been more efficient, let's say, with like plumbing or electrical stuff. So our wardrobe could have been changed to our ensuite, and that way both bathrooms would have been back to back. That would have been efficient with plumbing and that. But I like the idea of the bath in our bedroom and the shower in our bedroom, so we designed it that way. It's all about compromise, but I genuinely feel this is the perfect design for the house that we have, and a different house, maybe we do something different.
Yeah, I suppose as well, like, without adding anything to the footprint that we didn't want to do because we didn't want to go through planning, we knew what space we had to work with, so, you know, we just worked with that, really.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot of we're going to design this amazing house and we're going to knock down the house that's there already and start from fresh or whatever. So that's how that went. So we came back. We were out getting some wax and out in Baltimore. We actually didn't go as far into Baltimore as I thought we would, so another day we will show you Baltimore. It's really beautiful. And then we had to stop by in Skibbereen for a few essentials. And
for tomorrow's cook, tune in.
Just thought we'd answer the rest of the questions because there were just a couple more that we needed to go through.
I just moved the concrete block because I thought it would look cool to lean here. There's like 500 wood lice underneath it. Never seen so many. Now come down to this part of the land very often.
Someone asked, how is the garden coming along?
Our nettle patch is doing great.
Do you have plans to have fruit and something trees? The garden is coming along great. It's really not getting the time that it should be getting, unfortunately. It's literally just a run out in the evenings if anything has to be done, which really isn't doing so good. Unfortunately, my onions have bolted, which is really disappointing because it means I can't store them, so they'll have to come up. Potatoes are doing great, but our main crop are probably not going to come to anything because we just haven't put anything. We haven't had a chance to mount them up. And so, but everything else, I'm trying to keep on top of the greenhouse, which is cucumbers, tomatoes, aubergines, and they do seem to be doing well. So look, if we can just keep focusing on that, that's enough. Next year will be a big year for it though, because we'll have had all of the no dig in the ground, so the beds will be in a better position for growing things. So I think we're hoping next year will be better. And do we have fruit trees? Yes, we do. If you saw in another video, we have an orchard we planted back in Christmas time. None of them will come to anything this year.
What do we got? We got about 18 fruit trees, we got about 3 nut trees, and we got about 20 hazelnuts. We got about 20 various currant bushes, I would say.
Yeah,
so
we do.
Quite a lot of
recurring fruit bushes. Not much will come. There were 3 apple trees that we put in this time last year. They have got crops of apples on, so that we get something from them. But everything else, probably nothing this year. Sorry, back to the questions. Love to know what tools you recommend from your collection and what tools you would love to add to your collection for coming projects. That's a bit of a man question.
Maybe they're talking about your kind of paint sprayer and your grinding tools and all that stuff.
Yeah, they've all been brilliant.
I think I have hobby workshop tools, so Bosch has been really good to me over the years, but I'm using the kind of hobbyist sort of stuff and they fall apart really. They don't last the sort of work we're doing. Same with Parkside. Grand for hobbyists, but really when you're doing anything heavy duty, it doesn't last. If I want to do any hard stuff, I would use DeWalt. I'm quite happy with the DeWalt tools we have. They're a bit more expensive, but they are more robust. But the next sort of tools that I want to get are more woodworking tools. Like I'd love a planer thicknesser for all of the windowsills that I have to do. I'd love a lathe just so I can turn some spindles for a staircase, which I won't be doing that anytime soon. I would love a really good table saw. My one is just too lightweight. It kind of tends to topple over if you push anything hard through it, so I have loads of diving weights on the bottom which ain't safe. Just general workshop tools. I'd like to start being a bit creative and making more furniture for the house and that after the grant in the next year, so that's what I'd be looking for.
When you come through the required works for the grant, please take a well-earned break and steady yourselves for the coming winter of undoubtedly further passion projects. My mother and I are re-watching your back vlogs and present vlogs. But our questions are, what projects are you looking forward to in the future? And are you likely to meet up with any of the other YouTuber renovators, such as the Corner House, the Irish Homestead, who we follow? Yeah, we have lots of plans for this land, further buildings. One of the reasons for getting the digger was for one such project. Will probably be one of the first ones.
This project
bit of a hush hush yet.
Sensational, the likes of which have not been seen on the annals of YouTube since its inception. Groundbreaking.
Anyway,
and then of course we have the party barn, and we have a shepherd's hut, and we have this whole space here, calving sheds. That's going to be turned into a new workshop. Then I'm going to take down the barns, maybe keep a little garage there. There's lots of projects, folks. It's only time and money are the 2 things that are stopping us doing it, but there's enough here for years. So if you wanted to subscribe and join our Patreon or become a channel member, that would be great, and it would keep the projects going. Subtle plug. And buy a postcard. Yes.
Are we planning to meet up with any of the other renovators? We
love to meet with them, but they're all in the same phase as us, where
they're all busy. Oh, I think she said afterwards, after we're finished with our grant and stuff.
Yeah, but when we're finished, they'll be on their grant.
Yeah. So
maybe in a few years, once we're all finished, we should have a big gathering or something.
yeah, we do talk to them via WhatsApp. So we do know Dawn and Ben very well, and Sam and Becca, and it's great to have them. And I think actually having them gives you the encouragement to keep going. There's other people going through it, and so it's a really nice community actually, which we didn't foresee having when we started out this YouTube journey.
Yeah, and actually we chat a lot to Dawn and Ben, and they did a Q&A recently where we kind of asked them some really tough questions because they're the questions that we were worried that we'd be asked, and I think Ben would like us to answer them, so I think we might. So what I asked was, what were the 5 things, how did I phrase it? What were the 5 things I wish I'd done differently? Or so I think 5 things anyway I would do differently. Oh, advice for newbies, what would you do differently? They said it as well. It's storage. I'd agree with that. We put quite a lot of our stuff into storage. We rented storage, and we put some of our stuff into our barns. But bit by bit, the kids went out and they brought more, or they got Christmas presents, so they brought more into the house. And it's just, as you can see with what I'm doing now in Ashton's room, it's a nightmare tripping over all the stuff. So not only would I say to put things into storage, but just to draw an adamant line in your house, like this is a house under construction, this is not a house for living in, which I guess we kind of moved in from the very first day. We should do that differently, but I mean, nobody has bags of money to do that, so realistically you're probably gonna be half moved in and do a half-assed job like us. Don Ben also said about living, they'd get a caravan, and I think that was a good option for us, but I probably would have gotten 2 caravans. I think the idea of having a living space separate to the kind of sleeping and the chilling space would be good, especially when we have 4 people. Or we could have gotten a separate caravan just for our kids. I think that would be sensible. I wouldn't have ordered so much material in advance. Claire said that I was good at organizing things, but there was a lot of material I ordered that we were tripping over, and we're still tripping over the kids' bathrooms. You can see from the videos I haven't even plastered the bathrooms, and we've had their like toilets and shower trays and screens for almost, I'd say, almost 7 or 8 months anyway, so that's mental. So you got to be a bit good with the ordering, but not that good. The thing I would definitely, I don't know how I'd address this, but I would make time for a summer more. We started last April, worked straight through the summer, and now we're finishing the project in this summer, and it just feels like that we're going to lose this summer again. I would probably have worked harder during winter to give myself a month off whenever the weather gets good, because maybe we're a bit slack, we got tired, maybe we got slack a little bit during winter. I wish we were further ahead so we could enjoy the summer. That's definitely one. What number is that? Is that 3 or 4? I could go on.
3.
I don't know how Dawn and Ben struggled, but
yeah, we're rambling now really.
I would also put a plan for the land a little bit more. There's loads of things in the land that we wanted to do, like garden, but there's loads of things that we have to do, like chopping up the trees that have been felled. And we don't really have a plan for that. We're just ad hoc doing it, and you know, we do the things we want, but then we get pissed off because we haven't done the things we need. So that's something as well, I suppose. I would have balanced out the work.
We used to use a whiteboard a lot. We need to go back to that. I felt that was a really good plan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As a weekly plan to have that. Yeah, and what was the other question you asked Dawn and Ben?
No, let me think of one more. What would I like to have done? Oh yes, I would like to have done this so much sooner. I'd say to Claire,
oh yes, when our kids are younger.
Yeah, I would love for my kids to grow up here and to just have this sort of a life. But also just for myself, when I was growing up, well, I mean, I grew up a long time ago, but when I was, living my working life, it was always like you work hard and someday in the future you're going to have it easy and you're going to move to the country, but I totally regret that. I wish I didn't work as hard. I wish I just moved, because everything's relative. You know, when I was 20, I could have bought this house probably for about 5 or 10,000, or not this house, a similar house for 5 or 10,000. When I was 30, I probably could have bought it for about 50,000. When I was 40, I probably could have bought it for like 150,000. So like, you're saving your money, but it isn't getting easier to make the move. I wish I just moved when we were in our 20s. We had our kids here and they grew up here, because I'm just worried by the time we're finished they'll be ready to move on. They won't enjoy it as much, really.
No.
So yeah, that's my final things. It's not really much advice for a newbie, but the actual advice is don't wait, just make it happen.
Yeah.
And with the
There's
thing,
never a right moment, I suppose.
there's not. And the thing with land is that make sure you get the right land, because even if you can't afford to build a house on it now, you might in 20 years, but when you see the land or the place you like, snap it up, and you'll be comfortable eventually. But don't just hold off and wait until you have enough money or you have enough of an advancement in your career. Or, like, the best time is always yesterday for everything in life, I think. That's mine. Now, what's your question?
You said there was another Dawn and Ben question.
Yeah, the one you
Oh,
asked.
my question was, the dream and the necessity. Where do you
5
want
years.
to see yourself in 5 years' time? So, in 5 years' time, we'd like to have the house obviously finished. We'd like to have. This seems to be an ongoing.
Which house?
We'd like to have. We'd like to have the party barn done, which really is just accommodation for people to stay if they wanted to. We'd like to build a shepherd's hut, which would be just a very small accommodation in one of the lower fields. We would like to have an honesty box, so that we can be selling some of the produce that we have, honey and whatever here. There are a lot of people doing that here in this area at the moment.
They're very honest.
And
Sorry, is this still the dream or the necessity?
no, I suppose still the dream really.
Oh, okay.
And I think
I'd like a Lamborghini tractor.
if YouTube works out for us, then we'll keep that going. But we have got some ideas, I suppose, for ventures as well here. I suppose, don't we?
Ventures. Business ventures.
Business
yeah.
ventures. So we'd like to get those going in the next while as well. Necessity.
Second bathroom.
I need to get the house done.
Hot water. Oh my god.
Hot water. A bath.
A bath or
Yeah.
a jacuzzi, but a
Ooh,
bath
part of a
even
dream
like.
now again.
I'd love a bath. It'd be so wrong. I only started getting into baths in the last 3 years. You go for long walks, and I just love the long soak.
Yeah. Septic. We
Not in the septic,
may
in the bath.
need to check out the septic as a necessity. We are foreseeing some issues with it, so that may need to be visited in the next while, soon enough. And I think that's it.
I hope I pressed record.
So do I. Yeah. No, that's it. That's it for now.
Okay, folks. Thanks for watching.
So thanks
Thanks
as ever, yes,
for subscribing.
for everything. Your support means a huge amount and means that we can keep going with what we're doing.
This much. That's how much you support. Not quite there yet. You need to comment a little bit more, but we're definitely there, I think, aren't we?
Yeah. Slán go fóill.
Enjoy the weather.